All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the American Dota League. This is Smeagol versus Team Liquid. We apologize for the earlier postponement of games. Of course, Team Liquid and EG, as well as Team Liquid versus Dignitas. Those games are postponed until later dates. TC and Fluff and Stuff having some trouble, of course. TC in Calgary, Flooded City, and Fluff and Stuff, I believe, is sick. But thank you for joining us here. We got 3 more games for you tonight. This is going to be the first one. I am Malt. With me tonight is NY John. How are you, John?
I'm doing good, and I'm excited to see this game. Of course, Liquid, a team that's been playing well as of late, not that great against the better competition, but here they face off against the Smeagol side that for the first time, and I've seen Smeagol a lot, they're actually featuring their full roster. I think they technically field 6 players. Peachy is the one that's not included today, but they have both of their Germans on hand between Hasu and Smeagol. So we'll see what they can do as a whole team, and it's rare for that to happen because all the way from some players in California to Germany, getting those times synchronized can definitely be difficult.
Yeah, they've got them here, but Team Liquid, they don't have that luxury. However, they have the, I guess what you would call super standards coming out for Team Liquid. Of course, Mojo Stormstout, what a player. We know all about him. Mers, he is a stand-in. He's a player from North American Dota. Not many people know about him. He's one of the highest win rate percentage players on Dota Buffer or something along those lines. He's a very good player, and he's kind of a little bit of an unknown, but I guess doesn't really matter. They're going to play with him, of course, in place of Fluff and TC. We will see the Treant Protector come out from Liquid and the Darkseer immediately from Smeagol. So, first pick Treant Protector coming out for Korok. A little interesting, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little interesting, but it's pretty safe, too. Treant Protector is exactly what you think he is. I mean, you don't really get any extra flair or any issues with Treant Protector. You know exactly what it's going to provide for your team, and it might open up an opportunity here with their second pick to pick up a more risky hero, perhaps. I mean, I like the idea of Treant Protector plus Shadow Fiend, and Na'Vi has been running that as of late, and certainly it makes a high risk, high damage output hero like Shadow Fiend a lot more safe and allows you to really have a strong game from that selection. But Smeagol are going to pick up a Gyrocopter with the second pick. So Darkseer, Gyrocopter looking solid so far as well.
Yeah, those are pretty standard. And then the Nature Prophet coming out from Team Liquid, they're going for the tree lineup as of right now. They've got 2 heroes dedicated to that theme. What I like about the Treant Protector, and you noted about this, is you can use it with the Shadow Fiend or just general heroes that are very squishy. I guess you'd call them glass cannons. They can absolutely just use a ton of damage, but if they take damage, they kind of just fall apart. And you think about the Weaver and how squishy he can, he could die immediately. But if you've got the living armor on him, it's really, really great. It's something else, in fact. So Treant Protector kind of helps in that regard. Of course, living armor for the towers makes it difficult to push into. Overgrowth and a nice setup ability as well on top of that. But they're facing off against a pretty good composition already with the Darkseer and the Gyrocopter in terms of just team fight. You've got the Vacuum into a call down, flat cannon damage as well from the side of Smeagol. Now, I want to remind everybody that this is a best of 1, and coming up after this, we will have Smeagol versus Evil Geniuses, and of course, to round out the day, we've got Typical Mistakes versus Team Liquid after that, and that's going to be a good game, I believe. So we'll look forward to that, but for now, looking at the draft here for Smeagol, just banning out a lot of supports, the Shadow Demon as well as the Rubik, the Naga Siren and Puck going for Team Liquid right now. And I definitely like the new drafting strategy, the way, of course, it's the 2 picks, 2 bans, things like that nature. It makes it more interesting to see what you get with the first 2 heroes, and I was kind of thinking about that. But with these next 2 heroes, it's really important to see where each team goes. And, of course, that 5th pickup can be kind of like a little bit of a wild card almost.
Yeah, and you know what I realized in the earlier games is that Clockwork is a really high-value hero, but since Nature's Prophet is a slightly better offlaner and Darkseer is a better offlaner because of what they bring to the team fights in different regards, we see him fall off, and he's not really worthy of that ban because a lot of teams are already going to pick off their offlaners. So he falls off to his 3rd or 4th pick, not ban a high priority, and some teams end up getting steals on him. I don't know if we'll see him in this game because Nature's Prophet and Darkseer are in this game, but a lot of teams should take that into consideration. I think he is worthy of 1st or 2nd pick in some instances. Smeagol, meanwhile, are looking for their 3rd pick. Having the Gyrocopter and Darkseer, I'd assume they want to go for a support here, maybe something like a Bane to give them a solid lane forming. You can see Visage and Shadow Demon are already banned. Those are as well as Nyx Assassin and Rubik. So there are a whole lot of supports already out of the pool, and getting a Bane would definitely give you one of the better available support heroes.
I would also say Kotal might be a good pickup for them, especially against the Nature's Prophet, but they're going to go ahead and 3rd pick the OD, the Outworld Devourer. They want that mid matchup right now, But of course, you can counter that. I mean, there's not too many heroes that counter that World Devourer outright, but he should have a good time in that mid lane if that's where they send him, and I'm pretty sure they will. But man, OD, he can do some damage, so I'm going to be very interested to see how that lane does go for whoever plays that on the side of Smeagol. Team Liquid, they've got some time to think about this. They have full reserve time. Ike's Mike actually disconnected out of the game. I'm sure he's still talking, but that's not a big deal. 1 minute and 50 seconds left in total in terms of reserve time right now. Team Liquid, they're going to be talking about this one, but the Outworld Devourer, what do you think?
I like OD a lot, but you're giving Liquid a lot of picks to try and cope with it. And we saw yesterday, I believe it was Evil Geniuses pick the instant stun, which works really well against OD because he doesn't have time to get an Astral off. That was through SK. So I think Liquid have a lot of picks here. They already have Nature's Prophet, who's an aggressive hero, can jump on top of somebody. They do have Tree and Protector, who's not quite as aggressive. So this could be Smeagol trying to jump on top of the fact that Liquid aren't going to have the best roaming supports when you add 1 plus Tree and Protector, if Tree and Protector is going to be in that support role, which we expect. So this could be a good pick from Smeagol, but still 3 picks for Liquid to try and figure this out. They have a lot of room to work with.
Yeah, you make a good point about how Tree and Protector is not going to roam as well as some other heroes might, like the Shadow Demon or something, or like a Rubik or any of those supports. But you also have the Nature's Prophet that can TP in the mid lane and just also add to that damage and also get that Sprout off as well. So Outworld Devourer might not be completely safe from ganks. If one person just decides to roam through one support, then that Nature's Prophet will TP in and add a little bit of extra damage, which would in turn probably take the Outworld Devourer down, unless you can get a nice Astral Imprisonment off. But they're using a lot of their reserve time here, and that's not really surprising. I mean, considering what they're going up against. Outworld Devourer kind of just it's been really popular recently, and I think he's a good pickup. But the immediate Lich pickup now coming out from Team Liquid, and we saw this yesterday, I believe, for EG, where they did a dual lane mid with Lich. I don't know if we're going to see that again. I don't think so, but
it's definitely a possibility. This is an old school deny lane. When you are going up against a hero that is virtually unbeatable in the middle lane, you just deprive him of farm, deprive him of levels to the best of your ability, and the Lich is certainly capable of doing that. So that is in play. It's at least a factor for Liquid now. If they get something like a DK in the next couple of picks, I think that would be the path they decide to opt for. That means that their bottom lane is very susceptible, though. So Smeagol, if they want to pick up a Bane here, if they get another strong support, something like a Leshrac or a Lina on the back end of a Bane, they can take an aggressive tri-lane and try and go 3 versus 2 down bottom, which may in turn force Liquid to have a tri-lane down there. So there's a lot of room for both teams to maneuver, and this is turning out to be a very strategic back-and-forth draft that is going to determine a lot of the early game setups.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I guess it's kind of Smeagol's draft to work with here, but they've only got 1 second on reserve time. They need to pick something. They pick up the Bane, okay, but they have no reserve time now. I got really scared. It's just like it says 0-0-0 over here. You know, it's just like theoretically, if there's no time left on the clock, you should pick something. But they do in fact pick up that Bane. You called it there. Definitely a great hero for. I mean, just getting pickoffs altogether. I mean, Fiend's Grip is an excellent ultimate to have, and just the brain sap for that is pure damage coming out that nuke essentially, and that may to set up some kills as well. Bane's just definitely a good hero, and on top of that, Enfeeble against right-click heroes. Team Liquid, they have no real carry yet. Nature's Prophet can provide that semi-carry role, which I think Bulba does from time to time. But at the same time, we'll see what they do want to do here in terms of what they're going to put mid, what they're going to put as a carry. You know, are they going to go for Trilon? They're going to go for that Life Stealer. So that's definitely interesting. They have the Life Stealer, they've got the Nature's Prophet, so you have that kind of teleporting all around the map with the Life Stealer inside you, and just going for ganks essentially, and that's worked. That's been effective before for many different teams. But now we see the last few bans. This is really where it gets interesting. Team Liquid, I'm not sure what they're going to do to combat this OD. As it stands right now, they have a Tree and Protector Lich, Life Stealer, Tri-Lane theoretically, but it could be something else. I'm not sure.
I would really love to see a DK ban from Smeagol. They've been out QoP, which I don't understand that ban because OD beats QoP, so I don't know. But
well, they saw Mojo Stormstout play against OD the other day with QoP, so I don't know.
That was a little bit, I don't know. It was a little bit of a mistake on the part of the OD, but either way, I don't think the DK is still going to be picked up by Liquid because of the surprise Lifestealer pick, but the DK gives you a hard disable. Look at Liquid's lineup. What disables do they have? Well, they have a mini stun coming out from the person who gets clicked by Chain Frost, and possibly an overgrowth if that bottom lane goes well, which it doesn't seem to be doing. So this Life Stealer, if he gets laid up bottom, there's potential there, but I mean, I'm feeling like they're lacking a whole lot of disables, and they're going to go for the Storm Spear. So this is a Life Stealer Spirit Bomb. But these lanes are looking tough. I think Smeagol did pretty well for themselves in the draft here, and they get a counter deny in the Enigma against the Lich.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Enigma, of course, they're just going for the AoE lineup, except for the Bane. Every single one of these heroes brings a little bit of AoE to that lineup, so that's very interesting to see how that plays out. Korok's so good on that Storm Spirit, though, and that's one thing we have to factor in. Bulba's going to be playing the Nature's Prophet, which he loves to play as well. Mojo's going to be carrying this game on that Life Stealer, and the Lich and the Nature's Prophet, well, or the Treant Protector, excuse me. Well, Mike's going to play that, because why not? That's his hero for all intents and purposes. Just waiting on Smeagol to pick up their last hero, and we will jump into the game right now. But you mentioned it. I mean, I think Smeagol probably got the better of him in this draft. But then again, it does come down to who can play the team better. So we will have to see how this game does go, as we will jump into the game right now. Thank you for joining us here on the ADL. Getting some introductions real quick. On the side of Smeagol, we've got Hasu on the Gyrocopter on the Clouds, or Clouds will be on the Bane. Smurf's going to be on the Outworld Devourer. Taku on the Enigma, and Smeagol will be on the Darkseer. Meanwhile, on Team Liquid, we've got the stand-in, Mojo Stormstout on the Lifestealer. Mers is going to be on the Lich. Looks like they're dual laning mid right now, as you see two of them sitting there. Korok down in that bottom lane on that Storm Spirit. IX Mike on the Treant Protector. And Bulba is going to be on that Nature's Prophet with 2 Clarities, and that's it. But they actually have a Chicken Courier, interestingly enough. A little adorable Chicken Courier. But yeah, it is looking like a dual lane mid, at least from what I can tell right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I wanted the Tri-Lane to go bottom, because it's up against 2 heroes who would have a lot of success in theory. We have seen those get turned around, oddly enough. But when you're dealing with teams with a good amount of talent, a 3 versus 2 should be in your favor, and they could have definitely made that happen if we consider the heroes available. They could have picked up a Leshrac, which probably would have been the best pick, because if they're able to win the Tri-Lane, they also are getting towers. And I feel like they miss out a little bit in that regard, because now they're just trading. They have a good jungler, so they'll get a little bit of extra farm in terms of net value. But OD does not get a lane where he gets stomp anyone middle. He's up against this Lich plus the Lifestealer. Lifestealer is still going to get his last hits. He's a strength hero, so it's not like OD saps his damage. He only saps intelligence, of course. And Lich is going to deny him. So OD is going to be deprived a little bit. And we're going to have to see some early rotations come out from the supports on the side of Smeagol, but Enigma, despite the fact that Malphus got buffed a little bit, he still is slightly rough around the edges in terms of rotating him, because he does have that. He wants to farm up in the jungle. He doesn't really want to be moving around. If he doesn't cash in on ganks, it's missed opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's also a little slow as well before he can get his boots. He can't really get into an initiating state at the earliest possible convenience. But we do see Mers already doing his right-click damage onto Smurf. It looks like with that Invis Rune, Clouds decides to not go for that gank. Instead, he heads back up to that top lane. It is a free farm lane because Bulba is in the jungle. So Bulba should be going for that early Midas. He already picked up the Gloves of Haste, as you can see. He wants to go for a very, very fast Midas, which means he's going to get that Shadow Blade as well as, of course, the Orc Malevolence as quickly as possible. Down in that bottom lane, Smeagol will have to be careful. Korok can jump on him pretty quickly here. Ixmic already taking some damage, however. He does have that living armor, so right now it's going to come down to how much farm I think Hasu can get in this top lane here. He is sitting at level 1. Of course, they already are pulling here, and that's the smart thing to do. Taku as well, you know, can he get more farm than Bulba can at this point? I mean, if Bulba goes for that Midas, there's absolutely no way. Meanwhile, mid, Mers is going to be denying on cooldown here, so everything probably going to be going the way of Liquid, at least for right now. Mers taking some damage as well as an Astral Imprisonment. Mojo just going to try to zone him out here, but he did get Feast and Open Wounds, and wow, actually Smurf taking quite a bit of damage, but
yeah, that was a little bit risky, him moving forward there. If he were hit by an Open Wounds, it could have been at least a lot of damage on him, and now he does have Astral Imprisonment back off cooldown. He was doing the right thing now. Initially he started off Astraling Lifestealer, but I think considering Lich is just only there to harass you whenever he can, you're a little bit better off denying him. But Lich counters that in some instances, because if you Astral him and you take away his damage, it lowers his mana pool, so his, excuse me, let me look at the ability name, Sacrifice is more effective because it scales back with him. So it's a little bit of back and forth, and it should be interesting to see how it pans out, but Smurf has to play a little bit careful because, of course, we've seen Lifestealer as a hero that can dive people earlier on in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's definitely, Mojo's not afraid of that either. Mojo's a very aggressive player on top of that. They're doing, yeah, Smuggling down that bottom lane. He was taking a lot of damage there. Looks like he got away safely. Korok, of course, using his Electric Vortex to try to get that kill. Unfortunately, not able to do so. But yeah, Smurf is having a tough time right now, only with 4 last hits. Mojo, of course, sitting at 9. Got 3 denies, and then denies going for the Lich as well. with that sacrifice on top of that. 15 last hits in the jungle for Taku on that Enigma. Meanwhile, Bulba, he's trying to get to his hand in Midas. It's not going to be flying out anytime soon. Boots are going to be coming for Mojo Storm Stout, not going for that bottle, obviously. Merz is probably going to try to grab Rune Control if he can. But everything is just passive at this point. I mean, Smurf's going to take another Frost Blast, and he's actually getting pretty close. Mojo should have open wounds. He does, but that's still a very small radius there because of that nerf. But other than that, not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, it's slow so far, but bottom lane is where it's interesting. Smeagol keeps pressing up into this lane, and he almost got caught out there. He got hit by Korok's Electric Vortex and got pulled back after the surge has gone off. Unfortunately for Korok, Electric Vortex was only level 1, so not long enough duration to waste the entire time of the surge. And as such, Smeagol survived, but he has to be careful. He can't really afford to get that close to dying because this lane is already not optimal for him. I mean, you see 2 CS on this Darkseer so far. So the way it's going right now, Smeagol are losing 2 lanes, middle and bottom. And we always talk about losing lanes coming out to the mid game, trying to be more prominent. They have great teamfight mechanics, but they're going to have to try and at least get the levels to prepare themselves for that mid game or late early game phase if they want to hit hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of hitting hard, I was just watching Mike88 zone out Smeagol, and like each hit he did like 10% of his damage or like 15%. It was ridiculous. And Smeagol just kind of stood around and just took it to the face. Speaking of trying to get out of bad situations, if Bulba comes in here with a Sprout, he could easily help get a kill because there's no vacuum yet for Smeagol, unless he gets level 3 and he decides to skill it. But I mean, like there's still no escape from that Sprout up until that point. And then of course Korok with his Electric Vortex as well on top of that. But other than that, the top 2 farmers are in fact on the side of Smeagol, and there's the TP. They canceled it right now and need to use it again. There's the Surge going to go. Leech Seed, that's still level 1 Surge, by the way. TP now coming in for Bulba. There's the Sprout. This is exactly what I was talking about, and that is first blood. It is going for Korok, excuse me, and that's just easy. I mean, that's like what I was exactly talking about with that Sprout, and they did it right on time as well.
The Prophet, oh my god, predicting their exact actions, and of course that double damage definitely helped the issue, but Smeagol needs to have something to eat his way out of Sprout, otherwise Sprout just beats him. And you see he's coming back into lane with Ring of Regen again. He's not buying any tangos. He didn't have enough money to, but I'm not sure. The Ring of Regen is important in some aspects, getting towards the Soul Ring, but he's going to have to play a lot more conservative with that instead of picking up just some basic regen. Meanwhile, Hasu's going to apply pressure on this top tower, so this is kind of what Smeagol have to do. They have to push out this tower since nobody's in this lane, and they can't really afford, the side of Liquid that is, to bring Furion up top because this is still a strong dual lane, and they could probably take down the Prophet with relative ease. So this tower is going to be big for Smeagol to try and alleviate some pressure on one of the other lanes. Smurf's getting dove, though.
Yeah, it looks like Smurf now. He's actually barely going to live with that open wound still on him. He will survive. Ix Mike TPing into that top lane. He can use that living armor. In fact, will do so. But he's actually taking some damage from that flat can. He's got to be careful. It's a lot of damage going on him right now. As you can see, that Leech Seed will go. So Mike's going to try to just take some of that damage right back. And you can see through that living armor onto, of course, the tower. The tower is sort of below half health right now. In the mid lane, there is on the clouds, though, helping out Smurf. Smurf having a tough time here. He's sitting right now at 11 last hits. It's 32 last hits, 33 even, for Mojo Storm Stout right now. So mid is absolutely a victory. Even though there are 2 heroes here, they're not getting the most experience, but of course, they're getting a lot of gold. They're getting Mojo farmed up. He's got his phase boots. There's open wounds again. Astral Imprisonment coming in, but Bulba TPing in. There's the Sprout. Smurf in some trouble. They did try to get to him, and Smurf is blocked in right now. One more right click, and there it goes. And Bulba's going to grab that kill with another great TP rotation. His Midas is complete as soon as he buys that recipe, and they've got 2 kills on the board. They haven't lost that tower top because Ix Mike is just constantly living armoring it. And it's back up to 400 health, and you can see how fast it regens with that particular spell. It's level 3 living armor, and this is frustrating for Smeagol, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is going into lane phase, essentially knowing you're going to lose 2 of the lanes. You're just digging yourself into a hole early on here. The positive for them is that the goal lead hasn't gotten that great. I mean, it's still minimal. It's going to be around 300, 400 gold. And the experience lead is in favor of Smeagol because of the fact they have the Enigma in the jungle, but there is trouble.
Bottom, yeah. Bottom was about to get... I think they were looking to maybe gank Korok, but I think they knew what was happening there. Outworld
Turned
Devourer
around.
actually, now, yeah, they're going to turn this around as Outworld Devourer leaves. Smeagol's definitely in some trouble. He's going to get sprouted. He already used his Surge. It's about to run out. He's trying to juke through the trees there. Ball Lightning going right now. Oh, Astral Imprisonment's going to go on Korok. There he goes. Smeagol might actually be able to escape from this. Iron Shell's going to go on Smurf right now. Korok realizing he's in some trouble. Nature's Wrath. Nice living armor coming in. You can see he wants to get under that tower. He will, in fact, do so. He's going to try to make sure he at least does as much damage as possible to Smurf. Smurf, no. Smurf goes down, and the living armor keeps Korok alive. Somehow, IX Mike in the living armor again. He does it again. So that's 3-0. Smurf surviving with a sliver of health, maybe 10 HP, 15, 20 HP at most, down in that bottom lane as they dove that tower looking for that kill. They didn't get the kill on Smeagol for Team Liquid, but they certainly got a nice pick off on that Outworld Devourer.
Smurf is now on full tilt. Oh no, that can't happen. I mean, first off, you're roaming as a level 5 OD. OD doesn't want to roam. He doesn't want to be level 5 for very long. He wants to get that 6 up. If he had Sandy's Eclipse, it would have killed Korok really easily because Korok was entirely depleted. But instead, he found himself bottom, and now he has to go back middle and try and find some farm. But now he's dealing with the MSS, who's level 6, so he's being out-leveled middle. And I'm sure, if we take a look at Lich, he's level 6 as well. So that lane got a lot harder. Lich is going to leave it for the time being, but Smurf, that was just not the right decision to try and go for that, considering he wasn't breaking through the living armor.
Yeah, I mean, that he had to know that living armor was up, and he needed to back off as soon as he realized that he was getting low in health and taking tower damage as well as right clicks, on top, of course, of the overload from Korok with that Storm Spirit. And this is Korok's signature hero, one of them anyways, one of his many signature heroes, but he loves to play this hero. Looks like he's going to be going for a Bloodstone. He's got a point booster. He's got Arcane Boots already as well. I expect to see a Bloodstone completed sometime in the near future. Looking at all the other items right now, Midas on Bulba, that's all he's got really. Blink Dagger on Taku, they wanted to go for the Blink. IX Mike 88, he is going to get nightmared up in the top lane. They throw out the caution. TP is going to come in right now. There's going to be the call down coming in right now. There's the Black Hole missing on, well, it hits on one, but Mojo Storm's out taking a lot of damage. So is Taku. There's the Ball Lightning. Korok, there's a double kill for Mojo. They turn it around somehow. I don't even know who that Black Hole was on, but I think Mojo actually, who died? It was on the Lich. So I think Mojo was infested in the Lich. Lich died. Then he got infested out, which did a lot of AoE damage. And then followed that up by the damage from the Storm Spirit. That's kind of hard to follow, but in the end, it's going Liquid's way by quite a wide margin there after that fight.
Yeah, that was just a ridiculous fight in favor of Liquid, and you could see this game starting to really go in Liquid's favor. They're going to get a good amount of gold from that, and then they add on top of their victory a tower kill. Smurf was middle that whole time because he needs to be. He doesn't have much farm. He doesn't have many levels under his belt either, so he can't really get involved in these conflicts across the map. It just wouldn't be too effective. So he's trying to apply whatever pressure he can, but it's not going to end up easing the burden of losing three heroes or 4 heroes?
3, I believe.
3 and a tower. So, you know, just a monumental victory for Liquid that can really push them in the right direction. And that was them using all their abilities as well. They used the Black Hole, they used the Fiend's Grip. I believe there's a cooldown in the mix, but it's already back off cooldown. So they went all in on that, and just nothing panned out for them.
Yeah, that was... They saw the TP in from, in front of the tower, and they said, okay, let's just go ahead and throw a Black Hole here right as that TP is about to go. And unfortunately for them, I don't think they realized there was an infested Naix inside whoever they were Black Holing. And that infest does damage as he pops out, and then on top of that, everyone else came, including Korok with Ball Lightning, who was able to do some decent AoE damage, plus his Electric Vortex, which that pull is now level 4, by the way, on top of that. So, I mean, they're in a good position right now. If you look at Liquid, they've got approximately a 500 experience lead, which they just got after the past moment or two. IX Mike getting chased right now. There's the Malphite. Wants to overgrowth. The Chain Frost as well. Oh, man. The Eidolons are taking up a lot of that damage, but Nature's Wrath is going as well. Now, of course, Korok going in with that double kill with the Ball Lightning. Just so much damage. There's the Astral Imprisonment once again. Smurf now. He's in some trouble. Korok looking for more damage there. Now the TP from Bulba on the backside. Smurfy's going to get sprouted. There's the Electric Vortex, but now the Fiend's Grip going from Clouds. There's the Sanity's Eclipse. Korok still taking damage. Needs to get out, but the Brain Sap will grab the kill on the Clouds. Nicely done. 2 for nothing, but here comes Mojo Stormstout. He's going to get nightmared. He's going to go ahead and just rage. Open wounds as well, and on the Clouds. Nice Astral Imprisonment. Smurf trying to get away. He will, but Clouds looks like he is, in fact, going to go down here with the Sprout, and Mojo will grab that kill, giving him a killing spree. Drum done for the Gyrocopter, by the way. And also the mech done for Bulba just in time, so he forgoes the Shadow Blade, which I thought he was going to go for. But we will get a pause real quick, allowing us to recompose that fight, breaking out pretty quickly, and of course ending in favor of Team Liquid despite losing 2 heroes. They do get 1,500 experience and 2,000 gold.
Yeah, and the one thing I want to point out, it's outside of that fight, of course, it was bad for Smeagol, but getting the kill on Korok is nice anytime you can. But if we look at Smeagol, we can see that the Enigma actually opted to go for Blink Dagger first. Usually it's always mech first. In this game, though, they have an OD, so they figured OD could get the mech. It makes them a little bit more tanky, and it gives them, of course, the active from the mech, which is awesome to have on that hero. But Enigma has no farm. He's looking for treads, which usually when you have no farm, you can forego completing boots for a while on the OD, but that's not the case right now. So they're really falling behind in terms of getting those teamfight items up, and as that mech is completed on Nature's Prophet, this is going to start to be a problem because Nature's Prophet has the mech, Tree and Protector has the Leech Seed. These are two things that are going to keep their team alive. We're also going to start to see some Ice Armor come out from Lich, and then Lifestealer and Storm Spear are already 2 heroes that are tough to kill. So, in terms of Smeagol trying to claw their way back into this, sure, they have a lot of good teamfight mechanics, but it's not going to be particularly easy because Living Armor, Ice Armor, there's a lot of defensive nature to Liquid's aggression, which is a nice little composition they put together here.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the side of Liquid right now, they're just firing on all cylinders, and Korok is going to be... He's already incredibly difficult to kill in the first place, but with that Bloodstone and the infinite mana that he's going to have is going to be pretty nice. He needs that Perseverance, obviously, the Vitality booster as well. But now we jump back into the game as the pauses are done. 1,500 in experience and 2,000 in gold going Liquid's way. Down in the bottom lane, Korok's going to continue to farm. The net worth, you can see the top 3 players are from the side of Liquid. They've got about 5,000, leading by 1,000 over the Gyrocopter and Taku on the Enigma. So what SMG is going to do is they're going to go ahead and say, let's just push mid right now. We've got the Eidolons. We need to do something here. We need to try to get some gold out of this. Bulb is going to take something with his Midas. He's got that mech. They look like they want to defend this here. Black Hole is off cooldown. They have that Blink Dagger, by the way, so this is they can initiate on this, and the Sandy's Eclipse should be available as well. No, it's not. Not for another 71 seconds. Fortification's going to go. And this could be a pretty big fight. You can see the arrow drawn on the map coming for the backside. And there's the Overgrowth. Huge Overgrowth, but where's the Chain Frost? Murs, he doesn't have it on cooldown. Right now, SMG taking a lot of damage there. Cloud's going to go down first. The Astral Imprisonment, the Black Hole as well on Ix Mike. Now Korok's in as well. The Treant's going in. A lot of damage, but Mojo is going right into Hasu. Korok's still trying to survive, but he won't. No, he will be able to escape somehow. The Infest in, the Infest out. Taku taking a lot of damage. He's going to go down right now. 3 down on the side of SMG. Only 1 somehow on the side of Smeagol. They're going to take down the OD as well. Now Smeagol, he's going to try to get out of there with the Surge, but the TP, the Sprout, that's not going to stop him, unfortunately. Smeagol will get out despite a play from Bulba. Nicely done from Smeagol to get out, but they somehow survived there. And I thought for sure that Korok was going to die, but he just ball lightnings up onto the cliff, survives, and then goes right back into the fight and lets Mojo Storm Stout and Fest get back full health and then pretty much kill everybody. So a really good fight again for Liquid.
Yeah, and that was a fight where we didn't actually see a Fiend's Grip come off, so a little bit Smeagol not being able to get the most out of their abilities, but nonetheless, it was a great play from Korok to stay alive. It was really well played by everyone on the side of Liquid because it's a 3-for-1 trade. You lose a Tree and Protector. Tree and Protector's already level 8. To be frank, Liquid don't care if they lose Tree and Protector in every fight from here on out, as long as it's not, 30 deaths with no response. Tree and Protector is high enough to do his job. He has level 4 living armor, and he has overgrowth on a 70-second cooldown, excuse me. So he is in position to succeed already. He's already meeting expectations.
I mean, he's going to go for an overgrowth again in just a second. There's going to be the Astral Imprisonment, but a huge overgrowth, but the call down is going to go. Where's the Chain Frost? There it goes. That's going to hit a lot of people. No, it's going to bounce back. It's going to hit Clouds. Clouds is going to be next to Focus. He's going to go down. Murs with a double kill with that Chain Frost, and they have to back off. So Smeagol wants to go for that mid tower again. They didn't learn their lesson that time. Ix Mike was Nature's guised up. He overgrowth. They got stuck. They couldn't do anything about it. Mojo and Murs just went to town. Bloodstone's done for Korok, because why not? At 15 minutes into the game, that's going to give him a pretty nice lead in the net worth chart, I think. If it should anyway. He should be right around there. It looks like he's tied with pretty much everybody, though. Of course, the Furion has that mech. They take the tier 1 tower. And Mojo, of course, has his armlet done too. It should be flying out to him right now. So Korok with that Bloodstone, Mojo with the armlet. They've got their next set of items. Now they're going to go ahead and do a Nake's Bomb, I guess is what you would call it, and look for a pickoff right now.
Spirit Bomb, and it's Storm Spirit looking for it on the middle lane, and if they find off this OD, it's going to be a sad, sad Smurf because he already has nothing. So to take away something from someone who has nothing is
Spirit
bad.
Bomb. Oh, poor Smeagol. He's going to get pulled in right now. Is there enough damage there? He's going to surge himself away. It's not going to matter. Smurf's now next with the open wounds. He already used his Astral Imprisonment. Korok with a double kill. Cloudsy's going to Fiend Grip, but he's in a bad position. Triple kill for Korok. The cooldown's going to come. Taku Korok, he wants more. Nice blink coming out. Hasu, he's getting chased away as well. That Bloodstone regen is going, but that's going to be it. It's going to be a triple kill. Now they might just go for a tier 2 tower, but once again, Liquid, they're just dominating this game. And it's starting to look real grim for SMG. I guess you could say dire even. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, I went there.
Wow. Well, yeah, Storm Spirit buys up a Bloodstone and then proceeds to get 3 kills. So that's pretty nice for him, I'd say. And Korok already reaching now at 17.6 mana per second, which is outrageous. So we're going to get to see really aggressive plays from Korok flying out here. You mentioned before the game, one of his signature heroes, Korok, known for his Storm Spirit, his Templar Assassin, and last year his Morphling, but Morphling, of course, less prominent now. And Storm Spirit taking center stage. He can take over this game now. I mean, the fact that they already have the natural synergy between Lifestealer and Storm Spirit is just going to get out of control. I don't know if they need many more heroes on top of that, but they'll have them because Nature's Prophet can be anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've got the mobility with not only Korok, but with Bulba as well. I mean, and then Mojo can just jump inside anybody, and he will when that's... in fact, he's going to do it right again on Korok. So, I mean, we're going to see the same movie again. There it goes. Nake's Bomb's going to go the pull on Taku right now. The cooldown's going to try to get that black hole off. He, in fact, does get both of them right now, but the TPN on the backside, it does get canceled. That Chain Frost is going to go. A double kill for Mers. The Chain Frost still bouncing. The Sandy's Eclipse not doing anything. Bulba, triple kill for Mers with the Chain. The Fiend's Grip. GG is called. Smeagol, they said, that's enough. We're done here. All right, we're done. We are done with that. 23-4 Liquid with 2 stand-ins just absolutely going to town on Smeagol, and Smeagol's going to drop a game. They'll have a moment to recompose themselves, but they've got to go up against another Juggernaut, a team that is undefeated in the ADL. That is, of course, Evil Geniuses. So that's going to be the next game, but John, what a game, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Smeagol only getting 4 kills in the entirety of the game. I really like their draft. The Enigma's the questionable pick, but I think they set themselves up for disappointment, really, in not taking advantage of the fact that Liquid was going to feature 1 weak lane. In this instance, it was their bottom lane was going to be a 2 heroes setup. And had they ran 3 heroes down there and really applied some pressure, then maybe we would have saw a closer game. I don't know if it would have gotten them the victory. It's hard to determine. Of course, Liquid have a lot of experience, but I think they missed an opportunity in that regard. So a little bit of disappointment from me for Smeagol, probably from themselves as well. Hopefully they can find something going into this next match against EG, who look as good as Liquid, if not better.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely agree with you there. But before we head into this next game, make sure you guys check out the ADL on Twitter at American Dota. Check out the ticket in the Dota store. Definitely something that you want to pick up. I believe it's only $5. And yeah, John, where can they find you?
Check me out at NYJohnTV on Twitter. Be sure to follow me. It's really helpful, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, and you can follow me at MontDota2 on Twitter as well as Twitch. And of course, we'll be jumping into the next game in just a moment, guys, so stick around. We'll be right back.